Gavan Boschele hopping in post high limit racing debut. And I know I'll just start with the obvious, Gavin, because I know on paper Saturday at Lucas Oil Speedway was not necessarily what you hoped it would be, but I'm curious for you to now that you've been through it, evaluate the learning process of that first night. And I think the biggest question to that is, what was it every bit as difficult from a competition standpoint as you expected it would be?
Well, I mean, obviously you go in there like not expecting that. I was terrible. I was surprised at how bad I was. So I'm a little bit rusty, but no, it was. I expected, just my main thing was just to go and make laps. Like I wasn't expecting to do overly great. You always go in hoping to win, but that we got to be limit our expectations. So I expected, just to make laps, run laps. Unfortunately we blew a tire in the heat race, and ended up hitting the wall. So that kind of sucked. So we had to start in the back of the C. We weren't running any good at it, like in the heat race anyways, but it would have definitely been helped to get more laps and stuff like that. But having Knoxville rained out and Jacksonville and all those other races and having like 40 something cars there also didn't help my case. But no, we're just gonna do some testing, run some other stuff. It's just gonna take a little bit for me to get back comfy, and this is just for my. Obviously, I want to go out and do the best I can. And sprint car racing also helps me be a better race car driver. So. And I'm just having fun with it. I love dirt racing. I've always loved it, and to be able to have the blessing to go back and do it again is just awesome. So I'm really enjoying it. Just kind of love the process of it. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll get back in the groove and start clicking it off soon. But it's gonna take a little bit.
I was going to say, remind me, Saturday night was your first major dirt race of any kind in what, 2 years? I think it was.
Yeah, I think it's like 2.5 years since I've ever sat in a sprint car. That was my first ever time sitting in a 410, so not much to expect. So yeah, I'm just so grateful to be able to do it again.
All right, so obviously had the experience of kind of putting this deal together with Wayne Pretty and Andrew and that bunch back at Chili Bowl. You kind of told me that story going into the weekend, so now I'm curious, what was the process like for you actually getting to work with Wayne at the racetrack for the first time and just really having that wealth of knowledge to lean on in full competition, let's go out and do this, and he's trying to interpret and figure out what I'm telling him kind of mode?
Oh yeah, I love those guys. They're Wayne's awesome, Andrew's awesome. Wayne, I'm basically all ears now, so I'm taking in anything he gives me. Throughout the night he was telling me he said don't quit yet. So I told him don't worry about me. I'm fine. So no, it was fun. I love those guys. They're awesome to work with. So I'm sure. The drivers got to get better. So I'll work on it. It's just gonna take some time. It's just so I never thought that I was telling my dad and my guy Blaze on the way home. I was like, man, I never thought I'd be behind in the dirt world and ahead in the pavement world. It's just like words that would never come out of my mouth. I just my whole career of racing, I would never think that I'm more so comfortable on the pavement than I am on the dirt. So it's definitely different, but no, I'm excited to kind of keep one foot ahead of the other and keep working hard at it. Just I love dirt so much, and I love sprint car racing. So yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the year and the summer when we start racing a lot.
Talk driver for a minute. Where was the biggest aspect or the biggest side of things when you got in the seat and got going Saturday night that you felt like, you mentioned you were rusty? I mean, where did you feel like was the biggest, I got to get this back? Was it skill set? Was it just getting the feel back? Because anybody that has watched both dirt and pavement knows, I mean, two totally different worlds, and you can't even drive remotely the same.
Yeah, so the midget, I obviously ran a lot more midget races than I did sprint car races, but when I always jump from the pavement to the midget, I feel like, I don't know, it's just kind of second nature. I don't know why. I just always have been better, like, just jumping from the pavement to the midget. But when I was doing the whole transition of the pavement to the sprint car to the midget, I kind of had that all in a loop. So now having the sprint car away from it for a while, and it was just the midget and the pavement and some of the little micro stuff here and there, and then just running Chili Bowl once, it didn't feel as like I just was not comfortable. Just like the track was really technical, so it was just really hard to kind of get a feel for obviously the speed and kind of slowing everything down, just slowing my hands down. Just like the whole entire just feel wise, racing against other people, the track changing, just kind of stuff that I haven't felt yet in a 410, and it's a lot different than a midget. So or a 360, I'd say too. So I don't know. It just feels a lot. It's a lot harder for me to kind of translate everything that I've learned over the years of my dirt career. It's a whole different game. It's like going from uh, super late models to like an Xfinity car, or other car. So that's kind of how I look at it.
When you kind of take the day as a whole, if I circle back a second to earlier in the day, I mean, the ARCA race wasn't bad. You went out, ran top 5, arguably, had a shot when you guys lined up on that final restart. You knew what you were getting into then, leaving from that and coming to high limit. But as a driver, is there at least a sense of, okay, I can come in here with half a shot of momentum because we ran good?
Yeah, for sure. That stuff is I like. I will give the sprint car like saying it's not serious, but that's like my end goal is to be in. I'm working hard to go to the next level and race on Sundays. That's my end goal, and the sprint car is helping me obviously just get better as a driver. You see Larson and Bell and all these guys that are doing this, and they're obviously good at both aspects. So I have to be the best to race on Sundays. So no, I ran good. I didn't win, had a shot at it. I thought we were really, really fast, had a really, really good car. And that last caution, I had a really good run on the backstretch, and then that caution came out and Jack wrecked, so that kind of stuff. But, I went, we left, it was a good day. You're carrying obviously a high, like you ran good, so I wasn't really expecting to, like, put myself down. I'm very hard on myself, too, and, I'm competitive with this stuff, so it was kind of hard for me to, like, hey, like, this is just, like, I knew I wasn't going to be, like, go and set the world on fire. Like I was like, I had to keep it real. So I was like, yeah, I like. It was definitely. We just kind of had some fun. I mean, obviously, it wasn't so much fun, but just getting laps and just being back in the dirt stuff is awesome.
When you've literally grown up with the opportunities to race micros, race midgets with Larson, with Bell, when you get to see them and how much it improves their racecraft when they go back to the pavement, is that where you, even as a younger driver, look at yourself and go, okay, any opportunities I have, besides just you're a racer and you want to be in the seat every chance you get, does that give you the extra jolt to want to go out and do this because you know what it can do for you from a racecraft standpoint?
Yeah, definitely. Ever since I was younger, I've been in so many different things my whole entire career, just kind of adapting, and I think it's helped me be a better driver to where I am now, so I can just hop in anything and hopefully kind of translate it or somewhat translate it and adapt to it. But luckily for me, I love sprint car racing, and it happens to make you a better race car driver. I've always said that my whole entire career. Sprint car racing is so good for you, and I love it. So yeah, that's kind of a win-win for me. But no, I think it helps you tremendously. I think anything you drive, any different type of car or any type of race car is good. Obviously, seat time is key nowadays. But yeah, I always thought that anything you can drive, if it's a midget or a TA2 car, or a pavement car, a sprint car, like whatever it is, I think it's definitely beneficial now that even now that I see kids that are super young now that are driving pretty much everything. There's a path. There's a I don't know how to say it. There's a certain kind of thing that's kind of trending. Is the more things you drive, it's just beneficial for your career instead of just staying in one thing. So I always thought that seeing Larson and Bell kind of start the trend when they were my age and doing all these different things, and I think it definitely is taking a toll on the sport. How everyone wants to drive all these different things.
What do you take away from Wheatland as a racetrack, as a driver? Because I know you had never, before you got the test laps earlier in the week, you had never been there, never turned a lap there, to my knowledge. So what do you take away from that place?
It's cool. It's definitely a technical track. It didn't help me I was flight B, the last car to qualify, so the track was dead slick, not dead slick, but pretty slick by then. And I know it's definitely a tricky track. It looks very small, but you're carrying a lot of speed. It's just very technical. It's a hard track for my first 410 race for sure. That's definitely not the easiest one we could have picked, but it's definitely a really nice facility. Hats off to them. They do a really good job with it. It's really well maintained. No, but the racing surface is really good. I thought it raced really well. I obviously stayed and watched the main event because I wasn't in it, but those guys watching those guys push the pace and stuff like that was pretty cool. And yeah, I thought it was a great facility, great track, raced well, very technical.
Did you and Wayne talk about a next race yet? And you alluded to it, but I assume probably before whatever that next race is, you want to try and get some test laps in that car.
Yeah, I think we're going to test soon here in probably like a week or so, and then I think my schedule. I think we're going 2 weeks to run some Ohio stuff, just some smaller stuff, and then obviously go back with some high limit stuff, maybe some outlaw stuff later in the summer. Just kind of need to be more prepared as a driver. Just kind of logging laps, like it's just so beneficial for me. I need to get comfy again. Just racing, just turning laps, just being in the car, It's not so much just I'm comfy, I can run laps, put together fast laps. Just the track changing and racing around other people is a whole different story now. So I kind of gotta not relearn it, but it's just kind of like riding a bike again. It just takes a little bit for me to get going.
In a perfect world, in your mind, everything kind of builds towards that King's Royal. I know that was that first really big date circled on the calendar is King's Royal week in July.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I think I think probably 3 or 4 more races, and I'll be in pretty good shape. Only time will tell. But I'll do everything that I can to get better. But no, I'm excited. I think I just keep working hard and keep at it. Just more laps is key. So I think the more I race and the more testing I do, and anytime I have an opportunity to race, it's a better chance for me to get better.
Take some time, give some shout outs, sponsors, all that good stuff. I know the thread that tied this whole weekend together was you had All Pro Auto Reconditioning on the sprint car, on your ARCA car, and they were on William Byron's car at Kansas, which you got to stay and watch, which was, I know, really cool too.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, thanks to the All Pro guys. They were really good dudes. Stayed out with them. Love being around them. Really good people. Toyota Racing. My family that puts up with me and all my racing for all this time now. So, yeah, I'm kind of I've been getting on my own now. So, my mom doesn't go to the other ones. My little brother usually is. You don't see him running around the track anymore like he used to. But now, yeah, it's been a long journey. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to believe that I've been doing it for this long, and it's full circle, and I'm back talking to you again.
I was going to say, it's been long, but the hope is that there's there's this whole distance still on the other side of that, too.
Yeah.
So, no, always fun, and give the fans a quick shout-out. How do we keep up with Gavan Boschele on socials and the like?
Gavan Boschele on Instagram, YouTube Gavan Boschele, pretty much Gavan Boschele on Instagram, Facebook, X now, not Twitter, all of it. ShopGavan.com. For all your merch and anything else. So, yeah, that's basically it. Keep it pretty simple.
And since I'm one of the OGs, I can end it by saying this. We called him G Money at the beginning. I don't think we've totally we've mostly retired that nickname, but
yeah, they did that. They were asking me. I forgot what it was. I was filling out the high limit sheet, and it said first name, last name, nickname. And I was thinking, I was like, should I say G Money or should I? I didn't put G Money. I just put Gavin. I was like, the air's over. The air's over.
Only one era is over. Gavan Boschele, yeah. high limit era start number 1, yeah. But he's got a lot more ahead of him in between the sprint car and the stock car worlds to come.
MillerTech builds lithium batteries for RVs, golf carts, boats, and off-grid life. Reliable power, long lifespan, and a 10-year warranty. That's why I trust MillerTech. MillerTech, powering your adventure.